Hi, I'm Jeremy Hobbs, and your safety is my number one priority. I know we have seen a massive increase in kills and murders last year alone in 2017. But I can also tell you this. Columbus, Georgia police officers strive to do the very best they possibly can to keep you safe and keep our city strong. One of the biggest hindrances I have seen to our police officers and to our citizens is when we continue to lock people up for drugs. We've got to change this law. First of all, I don't want to see anybody else locked up for marijuana. I think it needs to be legalized. It needs to be countrywide, regardless of what Jeff Sessions says. But we've got to do more right here at home to help lower the burden and strain from drug use on our police officers. They have to follow the law. They have to follow protocol, take the person in, book them, all that stuff that they got to do. Taking time that they can be on the street fighting real crime that harms others. We're so busy locking up people that have meth or crack or cocaine or weed. Don't even get me started. Weed on them and locking them up, and we need to be focusing our efforts on real crime that harms others, first off. If the whole recidivism rate in our jail system, the reason why we're overcrowded, is these ridiculous drug charges we keep locking people up on. People might think, oh, he's pro-drugs, he wants people. No, it's nothing to do with that. I have worked with mental health for over 2 decades. I've been in mental health myself with counselors and so forth throughout my whole life, while I was dealing with becoming who I was as a person and my parents' aversion to it. But I digress. The main thing is drug use is mental, not criminal. They are harming themselves. Yes, we all know the effects, the outer effects from family to school or what have you. It affects people. But the ultimate harm is being done to the user themselves. Why are we locking them up? Why aren't we making sure that they get help? In fact, we need more mental health for our state. We need to do more to make sure that we're not locking up people and making them harder criminals when they get out than what they were when they went in. And then that's just the beginning of it. Then they have to go and try to file for food stamps and they get denied. Try to get housing, but then get denied. Try to get a job, but then get denied. Why? Because they have a past, they have a history of drug use, which makes them demonized in the public's eye. So they're unfit to do anything else in life that is productive and can get them moving forward. You're hindering the lives of so many with these stupid laws. We've got to change the way we do this. What we need to do is cite and fine. We can give citations out and fines and not take you to jail. We need to keep our police officers doing what they need to be doing, fighting crime. Real crime that harms others. Murders, rapes, thefts, burglaries, so many other countless acts and crimes that are far more important than hindering a person with a mental illness who's using drugs. But don't get me wrong, drug traffickers, we're still going to come for you. We're going to help change the dynamics of the criminal system in Columbus, Georgia, by making it easier for our police officers to focus on real crime that harms others and letting people finally get an edge in life and take care of them mental issues that they have with proper care instead of jail time. We don't need to be punishing these people, we need to be helping. And that's all we've done for the past several decades is harm and hinder and keep people impoverished. And it's a continued problem throughout our great country. Maybe right here in Columbus, Georgia, we can show you how to do it better. And we can be a shining example to cities everywhere around our great nation and show them what we need to be focusing on, real crime that harms others. One of the biggest things I see right now is gangs. And I see them using youth because they haven't, they're first offenders or their youth or what have you, and making them go out and do these deeds. It's horrific to watch and see children that just yearn for acceptance, yearn to be involved in something that matters. And what's sad is the gangs are getting to them younger and younger and younger. And we've got to do more. And let me tell you something, it begins at home. We need to provide better homes for these kids. Make sure that families have everything that they need. We need to start taking better care of our folks. And I think providing good homes and nurturing homes is a big step. We need a lot more community activists in the communities that can help create and organize programs for after school. Make some type of community service projects, which are actually growing throughout our city. I've seen a lot of them. People that want to help out with AIDS or with cancer or with walks of that nature, or join organizations like the Alzheimer's Association or the Autism Center here or the HIV Center here. There's a lot of things that people can do and be productive and feel like they are making a difference. That's what most of these kids want to feel. They want to feel like they belong here. And I think one of the biggest issues I've seen in Columbus is that our kids don't want to stay here. When I ran in 2012 against Red McDaniel, I asked 4 students at an event, how many of you see Columbus, Georgia as your home in the next 5 years? And it was, how many did they see Columbus, Georgia in the next 5 years? And they said, no, 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 and maybe. Didn't like those odds. But I asked those same question last year in 2017. And I asked it to some folks that were at Lake Bottom. They were coming down from Columbus High. And I just asked them, did they see Columbus, Georgia being their home the next 5 years? And this time the results were disheartening all the way around. No, 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 and no. Everybody wants to move away. What does that tell you about our city? It has nothing real to offer for our growing youth. They've got to want to see something here in Columbus, Georgia to make them want to stay here. So we need to make sure that our future, most of it, can stay here at home and be productive members. That's very important. We have TSIS, we have AFLAC, we have Synovus, we have, what else? We have Fort Benning. And we need more. We have several retail jobs. But where is the big jobs at? We've got Hostess, which we greatly appreciate them being here, and in the 7th District. But we need another plant. That's one of our goals in the next 4 years is, and I'm going to work with every member of our council and our next mayor and find out and make sure that we are on the same page. We want to bring one big Columbus job maker to our city. Something big. I want something that's going to at least provide 75 to 100 new jobs, paying 12 or more an hour. We need that type of growth here in Columbus. We need something real that the people can feel and have a chance of hope for tomorrow, hope for growth, hope to pay that next car payment or the mortgage payment or that electric bill when summer hits. People need hope here in Columbus, Georgia. And that's something why, that's I believe one of the main reasons I've seen crime grow. Lack of hope for tomorrow. This year especially, 2017 when it was going through it. The change in leadership. And just an overwhelming sense of hatred in America we see. I think everybody throughout our whole country has seen a rise in crime over the past year. And that's something we have to do right here at home. Make it better for our citizens, make it better for our children, make it better for our families, and help take care of them. Help them with the tools they need to grow. And I think that's a big factor in making sure we curb gang violence. But also we need to talk with our sheriff's department, our marshal's department, our police department. Start working with our schools to keep kids from dropping out and to help stop gang violence. We need a theme, we need something big, we need something strong that's going to be at every level of education to make sure we veer and stop gang activity and stop gang initiation. These children are our future, and I will be damned if I'm going to sit back and watch them get sucked in by these horrific gang members who want to do nothing but use them and throw them away. I think another big thing that can really help in areas like Oakland Park, one, the Homeowners Association, but I'll talk to the leaders there shortly. But at the same time, though, a Homeowners Association we need here in Columbus, Georgia, is more neighborhood watch setups. I know it's hard to get things going because you have to have a certain number of people and things of that nature, but I think we can work with street activity and street monitors to help make sure that we are always alert, always watching out for our neighbors and watching out for our fellow man. And I believe that's where we can start building communities stronger, because once they start working together, that begins the process of getting to know your neighbor. And I think that's very important in every community out there. Know who your neighbor is. Get out there, meet them, greet them, talk to them. Right here in my neighborhood in Springer Street, I know everybody on every corner. And we've got good friends that way. We watch out for each other. That's what it takes, getting out there, knowing your neighbor. And, I think that's the biggest part of Neighborhood Watch. You don't have to be labeled under a Neighborhood Watch, for God's sakes, but make sure you and your neighbor watch out for one another. Watch out for that street corner. Watch out for that cul-de-sac. Make sure that you're reporting things as they come in. Don't be afraid to call 911. It's better safe than sorry. Everybody can do their part to help lower crime. Everyone has a role in it. No matter how many police we have on the streets, no matter if we had 1,000 tomorrow, we still cannot prevent crime unless people report suspicious activity. That's how we make a difference. So begin a neighborhood watch, and I'll work with each and every one of you along the way. I'll be coming to your neighborhoods, and one thing, make sure that you have an ID card. All of my participants will have an ID card on them, and when they knock on your door, if they say they're with the Hobbs 2018 campaign, ask them, where's your picture ID? We make sure that it's safe for you to open your doors and safe for our people to walk in the streets and to get to know our community better. I think if you start neighborhood watches, that will be one of your best attributes to getting to know your neighbor, knowing what's going on, knowing who's moving in, knowing who's moving out. That way you know when things are vacant, you don't get squatters, you don't have issues, you don't have people using them as trap houses and so forth. Get to know your neighbors out there. Start a neighborhood watch, and I will work with you every step of the way to get it set up for you. That's what my job will be, making sure I take care of the people of my community. And that's something you can always depend on. When you elect Jeremy Hobbs on May 22nd, City Council, District 7. Thank you.